Alright everyone, it's time for another And Now for Something Horrible. Today I'm not talking about an insect, but I am talking about an arthropod. So this little guy here is called Dactylidium, and it is a type of mite. So this is an acari. Let me get my pen here. So acari are the mites. And unlike insects, they tend to have 8 legs as an adult. They tend to have 6 as an immature. Um, so you can see 4 sets of 2 legs, and they only have 2 body sections. So you have the head and the main body. So it's the gnathosoma and the idiosoma. Um, like I was saying, this one is called Adactylidium, and it's extremely microscopic. You can see here that it's only 50 microns. A micron is 1/1000th of a millimeter. And this is generally the size that you're working with when you're working with mites. Most of them are absolutely microscopic. This is an adult female, so you can really see that it's tiny. And the ones that you're most likely familiar with are things like, especially if you spend a lot of time outside, are like chiggers, which are little red mites that will blood feed. They primarily blood feed on birds, but they do occasionally bite humans, and they're extremely itchy. But the majority of them are like this, where they're extremely small and also clear. So this is the dorsal surface. This is the back. So this is looking down at the top of the head, and this is the back. And this is the ventral surface, so this is the venter. And so this is the stomach, or the sternum is what we would actually call it. And this is the kind of the quote-unquote face. So what's interesting about these, and what's horrible about these, is that these guys are, or these girls really, because the majority of them are female, are parasites, or parasitoids rather, on thrips, or thrip eggs. So if you're not familiar with thrips, they're these little insects. This is an adult thrips. Let me get this on red so you can see this better. This is what an adult thrips is, and these are the immatures. These are also extremely small. You can see the little eggs here. So those mites feed on those eggs. And an entire mite life cycle will occur on one egg. So these thrips, you might be familiar with if you're a gardener or if you have a greenhouse or something. They are generally found in flowers and on fruit. They tend to spread plant viruses, so they're very annoying for farmers and just plant enthusiasts in general. Adults tend to kind of look like this. This is the Phleothrips, so the tube-budded thrips, but they are also very small. But the Adactylidium is an egg parasitoid. So an adult female, which is what this is, will go to an egg, and she will feed on that egg and reproduce on that egg. And how their horrible reproduction works is that a female is quote-unquote born already fertilized. So she will have usually, let's say, 9 fertile eggs inside of her. Let me get that. So she'll have like these 9 fertile eggs, and 8 of them will be female, and 1 of them will be male. And what happens is they actually hatch inside of her. So now they're hatched, they have their little legs. And when they hatch, they engage in fetal incest. So the male will mate with all of his sisters. And after they have all mated, so this is how they're born fertilized, is that they end up mating with their brothers. So there's only the one male. He will immediately mate with all of his sisters, and then they'll decide that it's time to be born. And what they do is they begin to eat their mother alive. So the females, for the most part, because the males, after the males mate, they don't really do anything. Let's do this in blue, I guess. The females will begin devouring their mother alive on the inside out until they basically chew a hole on this in the side of her, and they'll all escape from her. The male will also escape, but the male, not knowing what to do with himself, he's already mated and he's not really doesn't really eat. He promptly dies. He just waits around to die or get eaten by something. And then now the females who have just murdered their mother and mated with their brother go and they find another thrips egg, which is another one of these, and they move to the next one. Each female moves to one of their own, and they are already pregnant because they mated with their brother, and then their eggs hatch inside them. They devour them alive, and their daughters chew through their body, and then the process repeats ad infinitum. And this is how this entire species exists. And it's not just one species. I want to say there's something like 8 species right now. 8 known species, and they occur. Oh no, not 8. 16 described species. I'm reading here from a paper on this. Described in Europe, North America, South America, and Northern Africa. So there are 16 known species of this. They all do this. They all feed on thrips eggs, and they all have this weird sort of screw your sister and then devour your mother lifestyle. So there you go. Now you have another cool thing to know about the insect and arthropod world. Talk to you guys later.